One, two, one, two. Welcome back to Marvelous DJs, the cheat code. It's yours truly, DJ Mike Marvelous. One of the questions that I get all the time from DJs is, Mike, how do I set up my crates? How do you set up your crates? The short answer is there's plenty of different ways. There's a bunch of different ways to organize your music, organize your crates. I'm going to show you the way that worked for me for years. I've been DJing for 26 years. Today is the video I'll show you how to set up your crates. Let's get it. Okay, so let's get it. Welcome back, welcome back. Let's set up some crates. So just right off the gate, right? The very first thing that I created to start setting up my crates is my own DJ folder, right? This is my folder that has all of my crates in it. I came up with to just make one big crate with your DJ name and then put all your crates inside of there. So when you went to plug into somebody else's, you could simply either collapse theirs or expand yours. And now I can work fresh out of my crates that I can recognize a lot easier. The way that I created my crates are by genre, right? So forget about all of this stuff. We'll start here. So this is typically my first crate. So I have Mike Marv Hip Hop. I have Mike Marv 9-5 South. So 9-5 South was any like dirty South music. Eventually I had to get rid of this crate because a lot of that just turned into hip hop, right? What we used to deem, and I live in the Northeast, so what we used to deem as hip hop was anything from New York, anything from the northern states. You know, hip hop music and dirty South was like two kind of separate genres in themselves. So you would say I would do a hip hop set, play some Nas, some Jay-Z, or I can play a dirty South track, some Luda, you know, some David Banner, you know, whatever, Outkast. It depended, you know, Lil Wayne, all of that stuff kind of lived in my 9-5, I call it 9-5 South, because if you're from the East Coast, you drive down 95, you head down south, right? Shout out to Florida. But anyway, I separated those two. You don't always see that, but nowadays, most of what used to be considered as dirty South is just regular hip hop music now. It's hip hop music. I mean, now I would say instead of having a 9-5 South crate, I probably would have like a drill or a trap crate, right? You got a hip hop crate and then you got your trap crate, which some may say that's the same thing. So totally dependent on you, but this helped me keep track of my music, right? So your hip hop 9-5, then you had R&B. I kept these two crates close because you had girls at the party, you had men, you know, we partied kind of in unison. So sometimes I would kind of flip back and forth between grabbing hip hop tracks and R&B tracks. So that's how I separated those two genres, right? I had a reggae track just recently. I'd say more than a couple years ago, I started adding Afro beats to that reggae dance hall, kind of to that reggae crate as well. Any Latin tracks I would dump in there. Had to have my Baltimore club. You probably have one. Jersey party music. All of that stuff would kind of go in there. If you're from the DC area, you know about go-go, so I had to have my go-go crate. Line dances. This is when we start to get in kind of the cookout, the old school events. So I had to have my line dances kind of separated into another crate. This cookout music crate is really what it sounds like, right? It's music for cookouts, right? Your old school crowd, things of that nature. This Kyoto feel good music crate was kind of a genre in itself. As you can see, it's got some Kim. It's just that smooth, mellow, you know, some Tweet, some Sade. This is what I use to kind of, you know, start some of the older parties off with, or even some of the younger parties early. You know, you just kind of chilling, vibing, right? Your happy hour kind of vibe. So I called it Kyoto because that was one of the events, one of the venues I used to DJ at, but it was a real mellow kind of vibe. And that's what I use this Kyoto feel good music for. So kind of another crate, right? Disco classics, pop, country, rock, EDM. When I say I did it all, I did it all. Holiday music, so you had your Christmas tracks. I've done haunted houses, so you'll see some, you know, Thriller in there, some Twilight, stuff like that. Gospel, I've done gospel events where I have my gospel sets. And it just depended. Battle crate when I was working on my battles, right? And then I have my weddings and so forth, right? So I broke it down in genres first, right? Figure out what your genres are and then create crates for those genres. Let's dive in a little bit deeper. From genres, Then I go to chronological order. Now I had a crate called Mike Marv Hip Hop Then, and all that is older versions. As you can see, I've been creating crates probably longer than 2007. That's probably when I came up with this way of creating my crates, right? And it's really just throwback music. What the years represent is when these tracks were downloaded, right? So probably after 2 or 3 years of it being in the main crate, I would move it into archive or a then crate, right? Which is this Mike Marv Hip Hop Then. Hopefully I'm not losing you, right? So I could pick up this 2020 crate and just stick it in here. I'm gonna pause here because I do see this clean hip hop. Now I know a lot of my radio DJs have a crate that's specific for radio. And I understand why you have that is because every track in that radio crate is clean. You know it's clean. You are 100% sure it's clean. The worst thing you want to do is play a C Murder track that's not clean live on air. I've heard it done. God bless you. Right? So I do understand that sometimes particular to the type of DJ you are for that event, day, radio, party, wedding, you have to have specific crates. So I know some of my radio DJs have their radio crate and then they break things up based off of that radio crate. So I get that because they are 100% sure things are clean. You all know if you've been DJing long enough, just because it says clean does not mean it's always clean, right? There's clean, there's super clean, and then there's squeaky clean, right? Usually there's 3 different versions of clean. And that just depends on the area that you're in may accept a certain curse word or a certain type of word than another area, right? So it all depends on your radio broadcasting area and how clean your tracks need to be. So let's get back into breaking it down from genre. So from genre, I go year, and from year, I go month. So based off of my downloads in January of 2023, this is what I downloaded for hip hop. So you can go through those tracks. As you can see, I got a lot of duplicates in here. But for January 2023, this is my hip hop crate for January. Then I would go February, March, and so on. So mine is actually chronological. So I've been doing this since, we'll just keep this date, 2007, that I've been breaking it down this way. And it's been keep going. I mean, we're in 2025 already, and I can still kind of go back and figure out what tracks I have, what month I downloaded that. Now that takes a special kind of person to remember what year, what month you downloaded a certain track. But what this helped me with is to keep my newest tracks current, and my older tracks I could kind of bucket in, hey, give me 2 years worth of music, give me the last 3 years worth of music, or I could just dig in the big bucket and say, give me my old school stuff. I need a track by Biggie. I need a track by so-and-so. So this helped me to organize my tracks based off my download dates. These are simply just download dates. Again, this may not be the way for you, but this is the way that allowed me to create crates over all of these years without breaking my crate process, right? So I know it's hip hop. I can pull all of my hip hop songs out of one, or I can go for specific years. Give me the last 3 years of hip hop music, and you can rock a whole event based off of the last 3 years, depending on the crowd. Or you can go to do the throwback. If you go to the next crate, let's jump to R&B. Same thing. See, I got my R&B then. I can go all the way back and say, okay, give me 2007 R&B tracks. All right, that's back before, they stopped playing R. Kelly music. Some of y'all still playing it. Do what you do, right? So it's all good. Guilty until proven innocent until proven guilty. Excuse me. That was not a Freudian slip. So that is how I create my crates based off of downloads. Now, normally it's a lot of work. It is. I guarantee you it's a lot of work. And I know a lot of you probably use smart crates, but before we get into that, if you scroll down, you'll see these things called quick drops. So if I was to December 2023, or let's go August 2024, I downloaded a bunch of music and I dropped them into my quick drops folder. I say, okay, got my downloads, select all of those items, pull those into my August 2024 folder on my hard drive, and then I'm moving those items, just kind of dropping them in Serato as an August 2024. So these are mixed, they're not broken up into genres. The quickest way I can organize these without even having to listen to them is go to the genre tab, and now I can see, okay, these are all hip hop tracks. I would go highlight all the hip hop, and then I can create an August 24 hip hop crate and then drop all these tracks in. I can drop all the pop in the pop of August 2024 crate. So I would create an August 2024, drop all those tracks in. R&B, do the same thing, and then I can delete this crate, because now all of my music are arranged based off of genre and the year and month that they were downloaded. Now I no longer need these quick drops. These are temporary crates that I tend, hey, I got a gig, let me download these real quick, and then I'll organize them later. That is a way to do them. Another way, if you already have these, you don't have the luxury of having these quick drops, you can, let's say you already got crates built, right? So most of my DJs, hey, I tried to organize them, it's a mess, help me, right? The quick way to do this is go to this arrow on the right-hand side of Serato and click on Added, right? That's gonna give you a column called Added, and it'll tell you when that song was added in your file. So now you have the dates of when, if you plan on arranging your music like this or arranging your crates like this, now I know exactly when I added this music to my file. So now I can go, okay, well, we have 4/19/24 is when this was added. So now I can use this. As you can see, these are for promotional DJ use only. I can use this track and I can move it into 4/19/24. So I'll be able to play it during that time span, give them some promotion, and then we're out of there. See, country track. So as you can see, I've done it all. Country music, hip hop music, R&B, EDM, DJ is a DJ is a DJ, right? Sometimes you get things like this, right? So bootleg, bootleg, bootleg. Yeah, they're promotional only tracks, so you may need to clean up the genre. It depends on how your items are coming over, right? So BPM sometimes aren't clean, the song titles aren't clean, or the artist is missing, and I'm pretty sure you'll see a lot of them in like my hip hop, my older hip hop crates, because now you have the digital record pools that will put those items in there for you. See, as you can see, this song says, Drake Sticky, instrumental, clean, acapella. There's no artist there, so I would have to go in and type the artist in there. So depending on where you're getting your music from, you may already have all that cleaned up. That's the best way to do it. If not, you got to clean it up. So again, a lot of work to prepare your crates, but once they're organized and they're in structure, some kind of structure, genre, then you go year, then you go month, you put it in that structure, and then you're ready to roll. You know where your tracks are based off of, hey, I just downloaded this track, it's a hip hop track, it's marked as hip hop, where's this song, found it, roll, right? Another way, so I know somebody's screaming like, this is too much work, there's an easier way to do it, and there is. It's this thing called smart crates, right? So you can create smart crates, right? So let's say we want to create a smart crate, you would add a rule, right? So the rule may be, any tracks added before 225, right? Or you can change some of that information and say, okay, let's go with artists, right? I want to create that contains, let's see, let's go Wayne, right? Anybody named Wayne, I'm going to make a crate for it. We're going to do a Wayne mixtape, right? Anybody named Wayne, right? So we can go, okay, got it. We added that, and then I go save, right? So now your smart crates should have created the Wayne category. And it did, right? So there we go. I was waiting for it to pop up. So now we got Lil Wayne, we got Wayne Wonder. So you got all of your Dwayne Woods. You can get, I'm just using this as an example. And it pulled in every song by every song that includes an artist in my listing named Wayne. Really, I probably was looking for Lil Wayne, but we got all the Waynes. So we're going to make a Wayne mixtape, and it's going to be based off of this smart crate. Again, you can say, okay, I want to add tracks after, let's see, let's go with anything after um, October 1st, 2024, right? So any tracks added October 1st, 2024. I can add another rule. I want to add the genre. Hip hop contains hip hop, right? So any hip hop tracks that I downloaded or added to Serato after 10/1/24 will add to this smart crate. So we'll give that some time. Crate is creating it. So we'll call this the Wayne crate. And this one is new hip hop. Right? And this can be a temporary file, right? These are the new hip hop tracks that I've downloaded since last October. Got my Boss Man D-Lo, some Eminem, some Mac Miller. This was some weddings that I've done, some Lil Wayne, Drake. So I may be able to find the tracks that I need based off of this. The catch here is your smart crates is only as smart as your tracks, right? Your hip hop genres are marked here. If your tracks aren't marked as hip hop, it's not going to add them to your smart crates. It's just going to give you what you asked for based off of the information that's already in the system. So that's kind of the default of your smart crates. You have to go in and clean all that up. You got to clean up your files. Now, most of the time, and I'd say all the time, depending on your record pool, that stuff is already going to be filtered for you. But as you saw, I even had some bootlegs in there. And what does that mean exactly, right? So you have to go in and clean up your stuff before you start making your smart crates. But definitely useful if you're just trying to create a quick folder, you want to do a mixtape, you can add different pieces to it. Hey, I want hip hop, I want this time period, give me a crate for that. Stand clear of creating what we used to call the new-ish file, right? So new-ish or that exclusive. I forgot my C. That exclusive folder, right? Because what does that mean a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now? New tracks? Okay, great. Is it still new after a month? Is it still new after a week? Is it still new after 2 years? You're going to be updating this folder forever, right? Or you're going to have a bunch of stuff. It was a point where I had new-ish number 2, right? And I'm using ish for if it's any kids out here, right? New-ish 2, right? So we had folders, or I had folders that said new-ish 2. And these were just like, these are going nowhere, right? I got new tracks, and it may be even some still living in those hip-hop files. I bet you it's there. Let's see. Let's go to hip-hop then. Clean hip-hop. I must have cleaned it up. Oh, nope. See? Mike Marv hip-hop exclusives. I Get Money. How exclusive is I Get Money right now? AO Technology. So eventually, what you call new or exclusive may not be new or exclusive at that point in time. You can see Rockstar, Drinking Two Step. Some of these songs, to me right now today are not new. They're not exclusives. Whenever I made this crate, they probably were. Right? Because that was the thing. So be clear. Stay away from naming your tracks new, exclusive. Really be specific about what the crate's all about, right? If you're doing certain events, and this is kind of where I kind of ended my DJ career off on, is creating event folders. So, for example, weddings, and I'll tag the wedding crate setup video in here. So Mr. and Mrs. Dean, I had a pre-ceremony crate, I had a ceremony crate, a cocktail hour, a mocktail hour, reception items, I had a crate for dinner, I had picks for the bride and groom, I had the picks that I selected based off of that, and then we had some drops for, sometimes they would send me tracks or things like that. So, based off of the event, you can create sets for your event. So that is a little different from just creating crates based off of just downloads that you're doing on a regular basis. When I was in the club, that's kind of was the way to do it. But when I started doing more private events, I'm really building sets for those private events. And in those sets, I kind of organize my music a little bit differently. Sometimes I'm still putting them in that chronological order based off of genre, date, and year. But then I'm coming back inside of those crates and saying, okay, I'm going to use these tracks for this, I'm using these tracks for that, based off of my set. So, couple of different ways you can do it. I'm really interested to hear about how others do it. Again, this is the way that worked for me for years and years and years to come. So if you have a different way to create your sets or create your crates, I'd like to hear it. Hear it in the comments below. Tell us, or tell others how you create your crates, so that can be able to help some of our younger DJs, or maybe some of our DJs that have not yet gotten the concept of creating crates. I know this is for Serato, and other things like Tractor. You would simply build out your folders, how you have it on your hard drive, and those folders will then just kind of come into your software. A lot of people used to use Apple Music, so some have their Apple Music sets kind of set up. I've even seen it where people are just using their files to be able to mix, or their browsing history based off of genres, BPM. I've seen DJs use this too, to be able to find what they actually need, right? So it all depends on your style, whether or not you have the time to dedicate to creating true dedicated crates. But this is another way you could just use your browse file to find what you need and be able to mix based off of the browse file as well. And then you wouldn't worry about crates too much. Some people just exclusively mix off of this browse. So awesome, awesome, awesome. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. But hopefully I was able to explain to you how I set up my crates that goes lasting in chronological order over the years. Please leave comments. Thank you all for following, liking, sharing, and hitting the notification bell on Marvelous DJ's Cheat Code. Let's get out of here.